Hello, one and all, and welcome to The Alternates, a basketball show for the others where we like to showcase independent music and discuss all things basketball. We've got a really fun show lined up for you today. We're going to be checking in on the headliners. We will be dropping to our knees at the altar of the basketball gods as we ask the basketball gods for something. We will be playing 3-Pack, the trivia game that is sweeping the nation currently. And then we will be taking a very pleasant trip to the casino of Clayton in this week's Bet Brains. We've got all that and more coming up right after Gloss by Gloss on the demo Gloss, all self-titled. The song is one of my favorite hardcore songs. It came out on Gloss's 2015 demo, which I think is maybe one of the most important hardcore releases in the last decade. And I think in 20 years, people are going to be looking back on it with the same reverence that they have for bands like Minor Threat and those types of hardcore bands. Without any further ado, let's get to it. It came out on Total Negativity. Let's go.
They told us we were girls, and we talk just look and cry. They told us we were girls, so we claimed our female lives. Now they tell us we are girls, our femininity doesn't fit. We're fucking future girls, living outside society's shit. We're from the future, we're from the past. We're the world we know the mystery's ass. We're in it, we're before they're a guard. The single kid of the royal blood. The future, faggots and fans, the future. Not just any outcast girls. Living outside society's shit. What's the point? It's looking in the wrong. Getting me skinheads, we took themselves off. We don't need no teaching from them. You think that the shit, they get angry with our fans. Future, faggots and fans, the future. Not just any outcast.
What is up, y'all? Thank you for joining us after running through the brick wall that I know you all just ran through listening to that track. We are so happy to have you here. We, of course, are The Alternates. I am your host, Brian Cullen, and with me, as always, is everyone's favorite Cunningham, Clayton Stevens. Clayton, thank you for being here. Before we jump into the first segment, just want to take a quick moment, ask you if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the show on YouTube. Find the channel, hit subscribe. We're 6 people away from our goal of 100
right
subs. So help us reach that goal. If you're not catching the show on YouTube, whatever platform you're listening to us on, hit subscribe there so you can stay up to date. Don't forget to leave us a rating and review if you're catching the podcast. That really, really goes a long way in helping us out. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us at thealternatehoop@gmail.com. Hit us up on our socials, Twitter and Instagram, at Brian S. Cullen for myself, at Clayton_Stevens for my handsome friend over here. Or you can hit us up in the comments section below, like this, Frankie Rappa right here. Very excited. He was very excited that the Cavs stayed in the NBA in our last round of Out of Step. Cleveland rocks. They certainly do. Thank you, Frankie, for the comment there. You can get featured on the show just like Frankie by leaving us a comment. It is really that easy. And of course, like the video that you're watching right now, and most importantly, share it. That is the thing that goes the furthest for us, is just getting the word out about the shows. We build this thing from the ground up. We really appreciate all the love and support we've gotten so far. But share it with everyone you know. Share it with everyone you don't know.
Don't be afraid to airdrop it to a stranger. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a little content.
Just hold the eye contact as you do it.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Clayton, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. It's been a fun week in the NBA. We're really revving up for trade season here. Lots of funny trades going around, trade machine ideas out there. I'm actually a big fan of it, so I enjoy this time of the NBA season. How you doing, Brian?
I'm good. It was a fun few days of basketball. We've got some pretty important deadlines coming up.
Yeah.
We've got some exciting events coming up. It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. We said this a few weeks ago, and it's holding true. It feels like it's the NBA season finally.
That's exactly right.
We're in full swing. So let's get in full swing. And let's start with jumping into the headliners.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
So there's a few headlines here that I want to go through. Let's start with the All-Star.
Okay.
Why not? It's coming up. Reserves are announced. Starters have been announced. We will get to our All-Star special in about a week or so.
Yep.
But the NBA revealed a new reimagined set of All-Star trophies for All-Star Weekend. The MVP trophy pays homage to Kobe Bryant this year.
Kobe Bean.
What are your thoughts on these new trophies?
I like these trophies. The artist who did them, his name's Victor Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had an interesting little artistic edge to them. A little different than your typical trophies. There was some cool laser engraving, etching on the inside of some of them. I thought they were pretty cool. I was pleasantly surprised to see a different trophy.
Okay.
How about that? Like something that was not what you would normally see.
So you're a fan.
I'm a fan.
I don't dislike them. My only beef is outside of the MVP trophy, there's the dunk contest winner, Rising Stars, there's the 3-point shootout winner. It's the planet Earth with the writing around. It looks like the Planet Hollywood logo.
You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that.
So my only question is, are we going to get Bruce Willis, Sly Stallone, and Jean-Claude Van Damme presenting these trophies?
I mean, that would be great.
Give me JCVD all day.
All day.
All day. All right, so you like them.
I like them.
Interesting. Let us know what you think about those new trophies. Curious to
definitely.
see what the general population is thinking about these. I'm just happy that they're not presenting them in like a Gucci or Louis Vuitton case like the Larry O'Brien. It's so
I don't
stupid.
understand that at all. It's
So
so
stupid.
gaudy and weird.
Yeah, I've got... That'll be a rant for another episode because I've got a lot of thoughts on that.
Okay.
All right, next we've got some sad news, but I think that we need to talk about it here, and that's Hall of Fame coach Bill Fitch dies at the age of 89.
Yeah, really sad news here.
This is sad news. I know a lot of the newer generation, younger folks watching the NBA might not know Bill Fitch or what his legacy is or what his stamp on the game is, so I just want to kind of highlight a couple of those things real quick.
Yeah, let's go through it.
Because he was such an innovator, I think that we need to appreciate what he left on the game.
Yep.
So he was known as Captain Video when he started coaching, and it's because he was one of the first coaches to use film sessions, not only to improve the team during practices and all that, but to scout opponents and take a look at what other teams were doing to get ready for matchups, which is practice with every single team in the NBA now, but was really revolutionary at the time.
Yep.
And he definitely deserves to have that credit as being a guy that brought that into the fold. Because
Yeah, exactly. It seems so obvious now, but that innovation was so new at the time that you have to give credit to coming up with that innovation then.
Absolutely. Then he was head coach of the Cavs. That was his first head coaching job. And he took them to their first franchise playoff appearance. That's for you, Frankie.
Yes.
Fitch the legend.
And
took the
before he got
Cavs.
there, they were one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
So to take that is huge. And this is going to be kind of a reoccurring theme here because after he was in Cleveland, he went to Boston with a young player by the name of Larry Legend.
Rookie Larry Bird.
And he was able to take that team to a championship in 1981. The season before he joined, they were a 27-win team. He was
Holy
there
cow.
for 4 years. 3 of those 4 years, they won 60 games.
Incredible.
I'm going to say that again. 3 of those 4 years, they won 60 games. I don't know if people understand how hard it is to win 60 games in the NBA.
Yes, and before Bill Fitch, I believe they had only been using player coaches up there in Boston.
Yeah, because they had Bill Russell for a while that was doing that, and they had a history of that for sure.
Yeah, so a big moment there for that franchise.
So he left the Celtics, and he goes on to the Houston Rockets, a 14-win team he joins. And he leads them to the finals in 1986 with a very young Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
Hakeem the Dream.
We got Hakeem right here on the table.
Yep.
I mean, to take a young star like that, a team that 14 wins is abysmal. It's an 82 seasons back then at that point. And to take them to the finals, they upset the Showtime Lakers in the playoffs. So just another notch on his legacy. He leaves Houston, and then he becomes the head coach for the New Jersey Nets. And he takes the Jersey Boys, a 17-win team, to the playoffs in a 40-win season. So I just said 60 wins is tough. I don't know what's tougher, 60 wins or going from 17 to 40 wins.
I think going from 17 to 40, honestly.
That's a massive jump.
Yeah.
A massive jump. And he had another young star on that team.
Drazen Petrovic.
Drazen, the man.
Yeah, great Nets team.
And then I think maybe the biggest notch in his legacy, he becomes head coach to the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah.
The lowly Los Angeles Clippers. So the Clippers obviously had a ton of lows in their entire history, but he got them to the playoffs in 1997. Now, they had made the playoffs for the first time since leaving Buffalo several years before. But the roster he took over, this was a team that was reeling from blowing that up with Ron Harper, Mark Jackson, like a team with real talent. And he took this team in 97 to the playoffs with Loy Vaught. I think Bo Outlaw might have been on that team, and he was pretty at the end of his career. He took Pooh Richardson, also on the table here, to the playoffs. So taking the 97 Clippers to the playoff is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just goes to, the man's legacy is monumental. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. You went through a bunch of these great accomplishments here. Like you're saying, sort of his legacy here is taking these lowly franchises and bringing them up alongside with him. This news was broken by one of the most prominent coaches in the league, Rick Carlisle, one of his proteges. Obviously, Larry Bird was one of his proteges. So many, his coaching tree extends super far. The players that played for him extend super far. Yeah. He was finally put into the Hall of Fame a few years ago, and finally is now noted as one of the 10 greatest coaches of all time in there. So very deserving of all of those accolades. His legacy is cemented here, I think, and I'm really happy that the NBA did the right thing before he was able to, before he passed.
Definitely. So pour one out to Bill Fitch.
Absolutely.
The legend.
Yeah.
All right. Next piece of news here. Positive. Good news. I love this. Dave Joerger returns to the coaching staff full-time in Philadelphia as the assistant coach. He's been out for over 2 months receiving cancer treatment. And, when it came out, it was pretty heartbreaking news.
Yep.
And announced that he was going to step away to receive treatment for this cancer. And it sounds like the worst of it is behind him. He's not completely out of, the weeds yet, but I think it's an amazing sign that he's able to return full-time to the team. He's obviously still going to be receiving some treatment, but it's obviously not as intensive as it was for the last, 10 weeks. And I'm not even going to lie. I teared up reading this because it's just so amazing that he was able to come back and that he's still doing this. He's still in it. He's still fighting. And I think Dave Joerger as a coach has kind of been underrated through his career. He's, I think, one of the best defensive coaches we've seen in the last decade. And there's a team right now that could use a defensive-minded coach. I think it's the Sixers, but team aside, just so happy for Dave Joerger that he's able to come back.
Yeah, this is a great story. Like you said, a really positive thing to start our day with here. And this reminds me a little bit of the Karis LeVert story from last year where he was traded. Because of the trade, he had to go through his medicals. turned out there was some cancerous cells in his body. He was able to take care of that because of it. And so I wanted to point that out because the players union, the coaches union, they provide these guys with healthcare, with top of the line healthcare. They're checked on plenty. So Dave was able to find this early, get it taken care of, same as Karis was as well. So huge shout out to both the players union and the coaches union for having top-notch healthcare and making sure that these guys are able to stay healthy and have long lives.
Definitely. I'm glad you brought that up because I could be wrong, but I believe the NBA was the first professional American league to provide healthcare to their players.
Yeah, the retired players. I believe that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like massive. Obviously, there's I'm not going to go too into it, but a really fucked up healthcare issue here in this country. And then athletes specifically, it's where all of these horror stories of players in the NFL retire and then go broke and haven't built a future for themselves. And it's because they weren't given health insurance and they were coming out of pocket to take care of all these injuries that they accrued throughout their careers. So yeah, major shout outs to both of those unions for fighting for it, getting that healthcare taken care of, because I mean, these guys are putting their bodies on the line every single day and they need to be taken care of for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, finally, I know you're going to love this. The NBA announces Rookie of the Month in both conferences for January, and it's Cade Cunningham and Josh Giddey.
I love it.
Let me hear your thoughts on this one.
Okay, so what I didn't realize until this came out and I looked into it is that Josh Giddey's 3 for 3 on Rookie of the Month. Do you know this?
I did not.
He won November alongside Evan Mobley. He won in December alongside Franz.
My guy.
Your guy. And then, of course, he won this month alongside my guy, Cade. But what I really think this is showing is that this rookie class is just insanely loaded. Like, crazy loaded. And, I thought last year's draft went really underrated because you looked up and down the draft. You're like, look, maybe a lot of these guys aren't going to be all-stars, superstars, franchise-changing guys, but a lot of really good role players, I think, that are going to be in the contributors that are going to be in the NBA for a long time. But when you look at this one, I think this has a chance to be one of those 1996, 2003 legendary drafts where it's full of all-stars and franchise-changing players. Like Cade, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey, Wagner, Zaire Williams, Trey Mann has been showing some stuff recently, Cam Thomas. I mean, these are all guys who I think are capable of making an all-star game, maybe multiple all-star games.
Wow.
Being that type of player. I'm just absolutely blown away. Josh Giddey obviously is just blowing the doors off with his play and just how much of an amazing team basketball player he is and just how much fun he seems like to play alongside. Yeah. So really happy for him to win this award, but I'm happy for all of these rookies and just how well they're doing. Like the league is in really good hands, right?
I couldn't agree more. So the Rising Stars got announced, everybody that was going to be participating in it. And it was the first time I'd kind of seen all those names together in a list. And I put this up on Twitter, but I was looking at it. I just got so happy, so excited, because it was the realization, wow, that this league has such a bright future. It is in great hands moving forward, which we haven't always been able to say. The NBA has had lulls, right? Like there was like the early mid 2000s where it was just a few kind of star guys and a lot of kind of forgettable players.
Right. Like we're saying 2003, you enter in Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, all these great players that, for the next 15 years are running the league.
Totally. And I'm with you. I think that we're entering that era. It's interesting to me. So you bring up Giddey winning 3 for 3. And I've got kind of a 2-part question.
Yeah.
One, I mean, we've obviously talked about Cade Cunningham. We've talked about Evan Mobley, this being, kind of a 2-man race for Rookie of the Year. Is this becoming a 3-man race? And then the second part is, or is Giddey just winning these awards because he's in the Western Conference?
Yeah. So to answer part 2 of your question, obviously, he has a lot less competition over there in the West, but he does have Jalen Green that he's going against, who's getting a lot, and Sengun.
Who also missed like 6 weeks.
Right. So, yes, there is not as much competition for him out there. I do believe Giddey could get into the conversation. I don't think he's going to win it. I don't think he scores enough. I think there are other guys on his team, even like Trey Mann, who with Shea being out right now are going to put up big scoring numbers. But I believe Giddey has a chance to win the award, an outside chance, and I believe he has a chance to be really, really special moving forward.
Okay, so last question before we move on from headliners. You mentioned Shea being out. With Giddey playing as well as he is, the emergence of Trey Mann, is Shea a potential trade target?
I would not touch Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I love the Dort, SGA, Giddey, and Mann. Those 4. I think you got to let those simmer for a bit.
Okay. All right. I think we'll have to reopen this conversation.
Yep.
Because I've got some pushback on that.
Okay.
But I appreciate your answer to that. All right. Add a headliners. And now it's time to drop to our knees because we are going to ask the basketball gods. The only gods I recognize, and truly the only ones that I fear. We talk about the fear of God.
Yeah, this is a basketball god fearing podcast.
Yeah, I live every day in fear of the basketball gods. So we've been to the altar once already. We're here again. What are you asking the basketball gods for?
So last time I asked the basketball gods for a Charlotte Hornets trade. They haven't come through for me yet. There's a little bit of time left for it. Yep. So we'll see about that. And I have something similar here.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Atlanta Hawks because I think they have 4 guys on their team that it's time to build around. And those 4 are Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, and Kevin Huerter. I believe those 4 are the beginning of a really solid, high-end, playoff caliber starting 5. Now, Gallinari, Bogdanovic, Capella, I like them as players. I think they were a nice stopgap, but I think this is where the road ends for them and where Atlanta really begins giving the team over to these young guys. I would like the basketball gods to hand this team to the young guys and start trading for pieces that fit around them. Now, specifically, there's a guy I would love for them to get to fit right into that starting 5, to make those 4 into 5, and that's Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, who's been good in his return.
Jeremy Grant's been good in his return. What I love about him is he's a defensive-minded guy, but he can also score. Mm-hmm. He's switchable like all of these guys. Outside of Trey, that's a really good defensive 4 out of 5 right there.
Yeah.
And Trey is a good enough offensive player to make this all worth it. So that is my ask for the basketball gods. Hand the team to the young guys. Let it start building up. It's time for them to go.
Okay. So are you so out on these Gallo, Bogdanovic, Capella that you're sending them to New York so that they just don't ever play again?
No, I mean, I think Capella and Bogdanovic specifically could really help another team.
Yeah.
I really like both of those players in general. Hey, Hornets, why don't you go get Capella? You know what I'm saying? I think there are teams out there that could use those guys.
Definitely.
I just think in Atlanta, it's time for those young guys.
Okay. It's a good ask from the basketball gods. So last time we were here at the altar, this is why I fear the basketball gods. They have a very twisted sense of humor. I thought about asking for Lance Stevenson to stay in the league, and then I was like, he's not really a good dude. I don't know if that's going to happen. And then he gets a contract for the rest of the year at the Pacers. Damn you, basketball gods. I also asked for the Nets to be in the vaccine bracket because that would just make it very interesting. And they no longer have home court advantage as currently stands. Damn you, basketball gods. I'm going to throw a quick one out there. Just trade Ben Simmons. I'm sick of hearing about it. Please, just basketball gods, take that off of everybody's timeline. My real ask of the basketball gods, though. So I'll give you my thought process behind this. There have been some really, really fun games this week with some incredible block shots. So to highlight some of those, you had Trey Mann, your guy, block Luka in a game.
Oh,
Miles Bridges, huge two-handed block on Jaylen Brown. Oh my God, it was so
disgusting.
Yeah, it was
disgusting.
Absurd. Ja Morant tried to end Mitchell Robinson's career, and Mitchell Robinson said, "No, I live to fight another day."
Shout out to Mitchell Robinson on that one. I like that.
That was big.
That was nice.
And then Kuzma blocked Embiid to secure a win for the Wizards over the Sixers. These were like highlight plays.
Yeah.
So here's my ask, because I love a good block shot. I feel like the poster dunk, everybody gets excited for. The dagger at the end of the game, you know, the big three, the logo three, everybody loves it. I feel like blocks aren't getting enough love these days.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thought, right? We're going into the All-Star weekend soon. We all love the dunk contest. Except I don't really love the dunk contest, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I think it's gotten kind of boring. There's only so many ways you can jump, only so many things you can do, to the point now where it's just a props contest. Let's get a drone in here. Let's get
the terrible John Collins over the plane one.
We're just adding awful props to this competition now because it's kind of all been done, right? Like, unless you're going to do some crazy triple backflip, you're not going to really do anything new.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm proposing. We keep the dunk contest, but you add in shot blockers. So the league announces, here's the 4 or 5 dunkers in the contest, best hops, whatever it is. But also here's the 4 or 5 best rim protectors in the league.
Wow.
And the contest is you have to dunk over one of those guys or you get your shot blocked.
Okay, so I have a couple questions. I absolutely love this idea. This is phenomenal. This is great. This is great TV. I'm all about this. So, a couple questions. Are we pairing a shot blocker with a player, or are the players choosing the shot blocker, or is it a shot blocker per round? What's going to be the setup here?
Okay, here's how I imagine it. The dunker chooses who the shot blocker is.
Yes.
Point someone out.
In the moment. Yeah. This is not premeditated.
Exactly. You choose then. You come up, Mitchell Robinson, I'm going to dunk on you.
Yeah, Jaws like, I remember 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's the whole point, is I think that this not only makes All-Star Weekend more exciting, but it adds an element of excitement into the season moving forward, because then there's going to be hey, that guy thought he could dunk on me, or that guy blocked me in the dunk contest. I'm going to end his life in a game. Like, it adds some more rivalry to it. And then if a blocker gets dunked on, he's out.
Okay.
He's out. So then you got to pick somebody else.
So what's great about that is then we get down to the end here. Let's say Ja Morant's moving forward. Maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. hasn't been picked yet.
That's what
Maybe
I'm saying.
we get down to the finals here and he's like, hey man, we're homies, but I got to dunk on you right now. Like, it is what it is.
And that's super fun.
That's so fun. I love this ask for the basketball gods. I know Adam Silver. I know you're listening.
Yeah.
I know you're watching.
Listener.
Get this to happen. This is a great idea. I'm all about it.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, they've got a twisted sense of humor, so we'll see what happens. But gods, please answer my ask. I think everyone would love this.
All right. Well, speaking of things that people love, sweeping the nation is this phenomenal segment we have here called 3-Pack.
I'm having so much fun playing this. This is our trivia section. It's 2 truths and a lie.
Yep.
I picked it last time. So far, we're both undefeated.
Yep.
In 3-Pack. So you have a topic here. You're going to throw 3 facts at me, and I got to sniff out the lie.
That's exactly right.
What do you have for me? I'm so eager to find out what you have for me.
So the people know you have no idea what I've picked. You don't even know
at all
what it is. If you watched Wednesday night, there was an incredible game of basketball on, and that was the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Mavericks. It was a wild game. It went back and forth. Luka started going crazy. It seemed like Dallas was going to pull it out, but it goes to overtime. And who takes over in overtime but Lou freaking Dort?
Oh my, okay.
Absolutely destroys in this game.
I'm so excited for this.
So Lou Dort scores 14 of the final 16 points for Oklahoma City. He looks completely unstoppable. He's pull-up threes. He's taking people off the dribble, going to the basket. He was a superstar. I was mouth agape. It was a sight to behold. And so I thought, let's do Lou Dort.
Let's fucking do Lou Dort. Oh,
okay.
I am okay. Let's get into it. I'm so excited.
So let's start with a little bit of what we already know about Lou Dort, right? He's from Montreal, Quebec.
Yep.
His parents were from Haiti. They moved to Canada when they were in their early 20s. He went undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
And he's best known for his playoff performance against James Harden and the Houston Rockets.
Yes.
Right? That's how everyone became aware of Lou Dort. So I wanted to go back a little bit, and we're going to start with Lou Dort before, and then we're going to get up through his career a little bit here.
Okay.
All right, so the first one I have here. Among the honorees of the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year Award are big names in the NBA, like DeAndre Ayton, Evan Mobley, Lonzo Ball, and Aaron Gordon. In the 2018-19 season, Lou's name was added to this distinguished list after his freshman season at Arizona State University.
Okay.
That's my first fact. Second one, as a rookie, he averaged more steals, blocks, and rebounds per game than Russell Westbrook did in his rookie season for Oklahoma City. Of course, Westbrook averaged 15 points per game, where Lou only averaged 6.8.
Okay.
And my third fact is, in his second NBA season, Lou improved in almost every statistical category a player can improve in. His shot attempts more than tripled, and his scoring reached 14 points per game. The season was capped off on one of the last games of the season versus the Utah Jazz, where he exploded for 42 points, his career high, which was on 7 for 11 3-point shooting.
I do vaguely remember the Utah game. I think that one is true.
Okay.
He's one of those guys who has these nights where he just cannot miss anything from three. That one is true. This next one gets tough because, unlike you, I don't really follow college basketball. So a lot of these guys don't get on my radar until they enter the league. I think you know this. And I think that him being freshman, what was it, SEC?
Pac-12 Freshman of the Year.
I think that one is a lie.
Well, you're wrong.
Oh!
I finally got you. Lou Dort won Pac-12 Freshman of the Year.
Wow.
And like I said, you look at the names on this list, DeAndre Ayton, Evan Mobley, Lonzo Ball, Aaron Gordon. I mean, it's a who's who of people in the NBA who have won this award. And then he went undrafted. He declared for the draft immediately after the tournament and went totally undrafted, went to OKC, and the rest is history. He did not average more steals, blocks, and rebounds per game than Russell Westbrook. In fact, he averaged less steals, less blocks, and less rebounds than Russell Westbrook, and less points and less steals. But I thought that I might be able to trick you with that one because he is a defensive player, and that's sort of what we know him for, right? So,
this one hurts me so much because I love Lou Dort.
mm-hmm.
Huge Lou Dort. In fact, I'm such a big fan that I think like 2 years ago now, I made this awful Photoshop where I reimagined what the logo would look like in a few years. And here it is right here. I love Lou Dort.
So for the people listening, this is Lou put into the NBA logo we know as Jerry West, just dribbling the ball furiously up the court. I love it.
I am so embarrassed that I got this
Look
one
at those
wrong.
freaking shoulders.
Look at those legs.
Look at those legs. Beast. I have a couple fun facts about him.
Okay.
So he went to, I said, Arizona State University. Can you think of someone else who went to Arizona State University by any chance? He was the most touted recruit since. That would be my question for you there.
For some reason...
It's going to hurt when I say it because you'll remember pretty quickly.
Okay. Part of me wants to say that it was...
How about I give you a clue?
Okay.
It's ironic.
Alanis Morissette?
Not quite.
Who was it?
James Harden.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he was the most highly touted recruit to come to Arizona State since James Harden.
Wow.
Very interesting, right? And then, of course, he goes against James Harden, has this unbelievable series versus him, blah, blah, blah. Two Arizona State guys going at each other. Super fun when you think about it from that perspective as well, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that, James Harden gets top 3 drafted overall. Luguentz Dort, of course, goes undrafted. Very interesting story. And another little interesting fact I found out about him researching this. Can you guess who he patented his game after?
Luguentz Dort. I have no idea.
Russell Westbrook.
Wow.
How about that? Goes to Oklahoma City.
Wow.
A lot of just interesting things that intersect with Luguentz Dort. I love it.
But we just outlined that he can hit threes, so that is very interesting.
I know. Yeah, I know. It is very interesting.
That is so embarrassing. It kills me that that's the one I finally tripped up on.
Finally got you. I'm so excited.
Damn you with your college knowledge. All right. Well, now it is time for me to get a little bit of payback here. Let's take a nice, just fun stroll into the casino of Clayton for this week's Bet Brains.
Okay, so let's recap last week's Bet Brains, shall we?
We shall.
Okay, let's get into it. First of all, we had the Wizards at Memphis Saturday. I had Kyle Kuzma leading the game in scoring at plus 300 odds. He was super close. He had 33 points. He led his team, but Ja Morant scored 34. You didn't put anything down. You didn't lose anything. You didn't win anything.
Yep.
Okay, and then our second one here was Denver at Milwaukee Sunday, over 32.5 3-pointers made, plus 175 odds. You put down $20. The Nuggets made 23, the Bucks made 10. They had 33 threes made, just over, just hit. So you won $35 on that one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm listening.
And our last bet here was the Dallas Mavericks weekend total points at 235.5. Gave you plus 420 odds on it, and you put down 80 alternates dollars on it. First game, Mavericks scored 132 versus the Pacers, and in the second one, they lost to the Magic, but it's all good. They scored 108 points, which gave them 240 total points, which means you won 336 alternates dollars. And of course, with your $80 bet, that's 416. Add that up with your $55 win, you won $471. Plus the $205 that you had unspent from the week before, plus your $100 salary means you have $776 alternates dollars. You are up 376 alternates dollars. How you feeling, Brian?
Feeling good. Feeling real good.
As you should, my friend. So I got 3 brand new bets for you here. Let's try and get some of that money back to the house here. Of course, in the casino, you must spend at least 100 over these 3 bets.
Yep.
So we'll go through them and you'll tell me what you want to spend on each one.
Let's go.
First one here is Oklahoma City Thunder at Sacramento Kings Saturday. Under 6.5 steals, and I gave you plus 200 odds on it.
Okay, I like the odds on it. This is a tough one for me to call because while neither team is phenomenal defensively, they're both pretty high turnover teams, which opens up the opportunity for a lot of steals. I still like it. I'm putting $50 down on this bet.
Okay.
I feel good about this one.
All right. Yeah, we'll see if 2 teams that don't take care of the ball find a way to do it. All right, our next one.
It's just going to be errant passes out of bounds, not steals. That's what I'm counting on.
True. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so then the next one here, I got the Atlanta Hawks at Dallas Mavericks Sunday. It's Luka versus Trey.
Love it.
Always something we got to watch for. The bet here is Luka Doncic combined field goals and free throw makes.
Yes.
Over 24.5. So he has to have 25 combined field goals and free throws plus 400 odds.
I love this matchup. Luka and Trey, so much fun. Hate the bet. Not a fan of the bet. 25.5 makes, even counting the line, is extremely high for Luka. They like to play each other. I think that Luka kind of falls into the game of trying to match Trey a little bit, which means more jump shots, lower probability. Not a fan, but I'm going to still make it interesting. I'm going to put $5 on this one.
Why not, right?
I'm tipping you for the last week that I had.
Okay,
so.
fair enough. And the last one here, I think this one's pretty funny. We got New Orleans at Houston Friday, and then Houston at New Orleans Tuesday.
Okay.
So they play each other, but at each other's home Friday and Tuesday. I put the under at 2.5 technical fouls, and that's plus 420 odds.
I love this one. Plus 420 seems to be my number. I'm putting $100 down on this bet.
Ooh, right. I love it.
I get it. I get why you're setting this line. However, it's so close to the All-Star break. I don't think anybody's getting too riled up. I think it's kind of the vacation, taking your foot off the gas a little bit. The Pelicans, yes, they're kind of fighting for a play-in spot. Houston, as we said before, they play in the Clamato Arena.
Right.
I don't think Houston's particularly interested in winning. I don't think they mind if the Pelicans do. I don't think it's going to be that contentious of a game.
Okay. Well, technicals can happen for plenty of reasons, so we're going to keep our eye on this one real closely. We got a couple of hot heads on some of these teams, so it's going to be fun to watch. That's all I know.
Yeah, if you were getting technicals for throwing things in the locker room, Kevin Porter would make me a little nervous, but I feel good about my odds here.
Sure.
All right. Thank you for setting those. Can't wait to see how much money all the alternates dollars that I will be raking in after the weekend games. That's going to be today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. Quick reminder to hit subscribe, like, comment, rate, review, share, all of that good stuff. But most importantly, a reminder to be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. We will be back Tuesday with another amazing episode of The Alternates, where we are going to be checking out the headliners. We'll be popping into the Underground Network. We'll be playing Start Today, which I think is going to be very interesting. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we will be picking our duo jams for the week. What do you got for us to end the show, Clayton?
Okay, I got a pretty fun piece of sarcastic hardcore, I'd call it.
Okay.
This band is called Fried EM. They're from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
The song's called Lobotomy from the Modern World LP, which came out on Lumpy Records.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you all Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.